All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tearing into a really exciting piece of tech. It's the Vivo X300 Pro, a phone that's very aggressively trying to be the flagship camera for 2025.
It really is.
So our mission is pretty straightforward. We're going to use the sources you sent over to figure out what justifies that hefty $1,600 price tag. We'll look at the incredible technical claims, but also there's one critical asterisk we need to focus on, a decision that changes everything depending on where you live.
Exactly. And this isn't just about listing features. It's really a deep dive into engineering trade-offs. We want you to understand how global regulations can actually force a company's hand, leading to, well, very different versions of the same product.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, because on paper, this phone sounds sensational. The camera system is obviously where Vivo wants all the attention. The thing that stood out to me was the 200-megapixel periscope telephoto lens, with Zeiss optics, no less.
Oh, absolutely. This is ultra-tier stuff. And that 200 megapixel number on a periscope lens, it's not just marketing. It means you're getting an unprecedented level of lossless zoom. You can crop into an image, get a 50 megapixel shot, and lose, basically no detail.
Something other phones really struggle with.
They do. And the early analysis points to just exceptional color accuracy and really impressive low light performance from that whole system.
And it's not just the camera. The other core specs, they really back it up. You've got the Dimensity 9500 processor, which you'd need to process those massive files.
For sure.
And the screen is incredibly bright, something like 4,500 nits at its peak, with that smooth 120 hertz refresh rate we all expect now.
Yeah, and it looks like they finally listened to global users. Origin OS 6 on the international models is meant to be a much smoother experience, less buggy. Plus, the durability is top tier, an IQ69 rating. That means it can handle high-pressure water jets, which is pretty intense.
Yeah. Okay, so all of that sounds fantastic. It sets the stage for a true premium device. But this is where our sources flagged that one critical issue hiding just under the surface. And it has to do with battery life.
That's it. All that speed and power comes with a catch, a geographical one. The model that's sold in China gets a really substantial 6,510 milliamp hour battery.
A huge battery. But as soon as that phone is sold outside of China, say in Europe, that battery shrinks.
It shrinks quite a bit. The European model is capped at 5,440 milliamp hours.
So why? What's the reason for such a dramatic difference?
It all comes down to transport regulations, specifically rules designed to mitigate fire risk during shipping. They put a cap on single-cell batteries, limiting them to 20 watt-hours. To meet that limit, Vivo just had to use a physically smaller cell for the European version.
Okay, so let's translate that for the person spending $1,600 on this phone. What does that actually mean in daily use? The test results are in. The smaller battery gave about 12 hours and 45 minutes of active use.
Which is an 18% drop in endurance compared to the Chinese version.
18%, and even worse than last year's X200 Pro.
And look, 18% isn't just a number. That's a tangible difference you'll feel every day. That's the difference between getting through a long travel day or, anxiously looking for an outlet by mid-afternoon.
So here's the crucial part. This wasn't unavoidable, was it? Competitors like the Oppo Find X9 Pro got a massive 7,500 milliamp hour battery approved in Europe.
How? They engineered a workaround. A very common one, actually. They used a dual-cell battery architecture. It's basically two smaller batteries wired together. Each one is under the single-cell limit, but combined, you get that huge capacity. It's a clever solution.
A solution that Vivo just skipped. They chose not to implement this standard workaround, so they consciously accepted a major compromise on battery life for their European customers.
Precisely. It looks like a decision to streamline production with a single-cell design globally, even if it meant the user experience would be compromised in major markets.
So the core takeaway for you, the listener, seems to be this. The X300 Pro offers what could be the best mobile camera on the market. It's truly flagship stuff. But it asks you to accept a significant trade-off in daily battery life, all while paying that same top-tier $1,600 price.
And that really raises an important question for you to think about. When a company launches a global product, how much regional difference should we tolerate? Especially when it impacts something as fundamental as a battery life. At what point does that promise of a single, unified flagship experience start to feel, well, a little compromised?